You use the B-spawn chains. So you have like this...
Great analysis, Dan.
Yeah, you have this extra caller because the spawn timings are so strong and they're random.
What kind of angle is that?
The CTs can't necessarily know what you're doing. So it's actually kind of awesome. It's like having that strat RNG thing that people used to use for matchmaking.
Why is this our angle for the knife round? I do wonder. There we go. Thank you. All right, let's see who wins the knife round. It is the third map, so they'll decide with the knife. Rollins, he's hungry for it. He's ready for it. Come on, let's go for the knives, man. Show me the knives. I want to see the knives. What knives are people rocking? No? Okay.
You got the
Great teamwork there. Hoodie. Ooh, well, there was a brief attempt. But c0ntact will win the knife to decide where they start on Dust 2. Hopefully it won't be long to find out. There's Rollins. I think that's his king of the internet, AWP.
I think you really want to start on the T side.
Well, they've chosen CT.
Really? That's interesting. I wouldn't want to start CT side against HAVU.
Well, I actually have no idea even what the knife. I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at the knives themselves.
Well, so this is for me. This is gonna be really interesting because I think.
Yeah, they chose the CT side. Esperanto's team one.
Interesting. I think that's really interesting because the T side is so strong, so strong. I don't know why
Maybe you finish strong then.
I don't know, man. I'm not about that life. But we'll see how it works out for them.
Let's see. Zori's got the P250. He's the raid boss for HAVU. So let's see. He's just peeking down mid. No one is having a look though. The problem is from T-spawn you can't see if there's a cat push unless you go into suicide and jump on the boxes. So that is something to be aware of. More so for the buy rounds. See if c0ntact or HAVU try something cheeky on the CT side when it's their turn. There'll be some presence shown by c0ntact towards that B-bomb side, trying to invite a rotation. And indeed, the mid player's gone in towards B as well. So they're out of position now, for the most part. And HAVU are going to play the numbers game. 3 players going up cats. But again, they've all got Glocks, and it's the USP of Esperanto to try and stop them.
Honestly, if HAVU get a plant, doesn't matter what happens after that, because the Creeks are coming out next round. It's almost actually better in some cases to lose this first round if you can get the plant, and the bomb will go down. It's a 2v4, so it'll be difficult to try to recover this. Going to try to make those blocks sing as best they can. It's difficult. Otto will get tagged in the head, but he'll stay alive for the frag onto Saw. And so slowly will get flanked here by Rollin as well, by Ships actually, as Rollin takes him down. So I actually think that this is like one of those really funny situations, James, because on this map you get so much free map control as a T side, unlike any other map, that when you have like a situation where you lose the first round but you get the bomb down and you can get Kriegs out, you can get the force buy, you can tailor your strats really effectively to just own the CTs who can't have to make decisions between, if they want utility, they've got to get SMGs, which will not work on the long ranges. If they want to work on the long ranges, they won't have utility. So it just gets really weird. And there's so much utility here for HAVU. They could, even with a B-spawn, they have a B-spawn right now, they could just go for a long take even with this. We'll see how they play it out. But I think HAVU are in an advantage despite losing that first round.
Well, let's see if they can capitalize on said advantage. We've got 3 rifles out, so it might not be that easy. 3 rifles out for c0ntact, that is. A lot of utility, though, for HAVU. Yeah, the prospect of resetting the CT economy is a pretty good one. Putting it straight in the bin. Minimum loss bonus. Slowly peeking once again, showing some presence as he did on the pistol. And there are 4 players creeping up cat. There's no challenge in mid from c0ntact. Esperanto is playing a position where he can fall off. That's a pretty wide peek he's doing, though. He's got to be real careful. I think he chose the right time. Not sure if he heard something. Didn't see something, but there we go.
Looks like they are going to set pieces A side, James.
Esperanto and Otto are here to try and deal with it. And those are 2 of the 3 rifles on the CT side. Otto starts very well indeed. Zori gets popped. But how can they defend versus the rest of them?
Just able to keep players alive before that. Just as the smoke goes down, that's really important. They've got someone ready for the flank as well. And this is actually a pretty strong round coming in from HAVU now. It had a lot of danger, but the bomb will go down. So already, again, that's a huge part of the success criteria reached. And there is Emmy able to defend the car position. More attempts to try to take him down. Not really going well. It just saw trying to jiggle. Eventually gets it with the crane.
Oh, no.
That punish is huge. Oh no, James, I actually think this might be the worst possible thing, potentially, that could happen for c0ntact, because only 1 player will survive. HAVU got 4 kills, they get the bomb down again, they got more loss bonus. This next buy is going to be even stronger, and if c0ntact lose this next round, their money's going to be in the bin for so many rounds. It's like the worst possible reset you could ever imagine.
Saw's got 4,200. Two players could buy an AK for themselves, but they haven't bought anything just yet. An unfortunate reposition towards the end there for HAVU. Emmy did a lot from a bad position. Really delivered for c0ntact from that card position. And indeed, Dan, they have gone for the buy. But look at the buy from c0ntact. It's a really big buy. They survived with only one player, but they've got the big guns out. The AWP for Otto. They've got M4s. They've got a Krieg on ship. The French gun on Emmy. The incendiary will be missed, though, which helps Doto.
Oh. They've got a fast timing of Cat potentially here from the T side. They've already got Long as well, James. They have Cat and Long right now. This creates problems for c0ntact. They're just stuck on the bomb site.
They're boosting towards that short position, but Sora is waiting for them. And he's got two more players in tow as well. Esperanto rings the bell of one of them, trying to follow up with the HE grenade. c0ntact falling way back. So we've got an AWP versus a scout. There are advantages to be had here for c0ntact. But again, they don't have long or short, so HAVU can wait out the smoke, and then what? c0ntact actually moving away towards that mid position. Are they going to try and prize these mid doors open? Slowly looking for a flank from B, moving away now from T-spawn with the Deagle. An exchange of weapons won't be heard. Indeed, c0ntact have managed to slither through these doors. They spot two on the cap position. Emmy to take out both. That's the bomb as well. What a disaster for HAVU!
Yeah, this timing of this push was really good for c0ntact. HAVU just sitting still. They didn't know what to do, it seemed like on Catwalk. Just holding position for too long. But there's still a chance here. Oh, that chance gone though. Indeed, Otto with a very good response, and that's going to shut down the round. So c0ntact will avoid that desperate situation of if they had lost that round, they would have been crushed for the next few rounds. But instead, they hold on. They survive with 4 players actually in HAVU. They had opportunities, James, but they just kind of froze. I
feel like this is one of the biggest issues for HAVU. Some of these rounds where there's like a mid to late round call you need to make, but that one, they had long and they had short on the A bomb site, and they only get 1 frag. Essentially because of a smoke on short.
Yeah.
That's it. That just completely paralyzes them all over the map. And c0ntact, you can see they just got deeper map knowledge there. Going through middle doors, no one watching it. Otto gets taken out by Deagle in mid. Again, it's always a big frag when you take Otto out. That gun will not be retrieved, however. Ships have taken position, but there's no one in B now, apart from all of HAVU.
Yeah, I think they thought that there would be a mid-doors burst, but I don't know why they would give up the bomb sites. It's very, very tough indeed. They should be able to retake this, but at what cost? Or are they gonna? What are they thinking of here? They've got a good amount of utilities for retakes.
Oh no, save time surely at this point.
It might be that. Roland had a lot of the nades.
They used their mollies to try and stop the bomb from being planted. That didn't work, and then they had no mollies to actually retake the site and use the bodies. With 2 Molotovs, they could do a hell of a lot with that. If they can get one towards car, one under the window, that will certainly help. They have flashes for to burst through the window as well. But maybe nervously using their utility, that is a big mistake from c0ntact. Just an over-rotation, playing schoolboy football, everyone chasing after the ball. Forgot about the B bomb site, having taken it for free. They take no weapons from the round, interestingly. They're still on 3 pistols. So they have to all spend money. It's a very bizarre round. Yeah,
it is. And what I really want to see from HAVU, I want to see strong long takes because it's so good. It's just one of those things where just make sure that the CTs will get the flashbang for their teammates so their teammate can throw the incendiary in the double doors. But just drop the smoke there and just force your way through it to blue bin. Get the takes going, because that's so extremely strong. If HAVU don't kind of set the precedent that they're willing to do that early rounds, in the early stages of this T side, I do think that it gives a lot of freedom to c0ntact. And they do spread out. This is really a very passive spread here from HAVU. And one thing as well about the long takes is it creates a sense of urgency for the CT side. It encourages them to want to take information back, which usually becomes a tunnels, 2-man tons push to get info, to see what's happening. And that's something that can be really punished. But you can see that HAVU will just build into this cat default here. So everybody, you got the one on either extremity, upper tons, outside longhouse, 3 players on catwalk. So from this position, you can do anything. You can set PCA side. You can go into an A split. You can go and drop to a B split. You can fake A into a B split. So all kinds of options.
1 minute on the clock, an exchange of grenades on short. This time Saul will be the recipient. But now what do HAVU do? These are the times where things can sometimes go wrong for them. Just by one thing offered by their opponent here or there. A Molotov on short this time. Esperanto has a flash now, and that's about it. Now, ships is in a position to support with grenades, but he has no grenade to offer Esperanto. Otherwise, maybe there would have been a flash there, but there's no utility. Holding an angle with the AWP, he'll be flashed from his position. HAVU can go for the short plant and hold on to it. You can see Doto is on short to secure that. There's a short plant coming in. Slowy's got to be careful. If he overextends, he's going to get shot from the platform, I think, where Otto is. But what do they do now? Ryland's the only person with utility. There's no movement on B from Contact. So I think that they're going to hold on now. I'm being told there's one player who's disconnected from the server, but he was dead anyway. So of the 4 players who are alive, it seems they're just holding on.
Esperanto made the right play as well. When those set pieces come in, you can't really hold the site very well, so you kind of have to get the kills kind of as they're emerging from that smoke close range. But Slowy's been really good this series, and he hit obviously a really quick headshot into Esperanto. And you can see it after that point, then the smoke comes down, which did, oh, nice kill actually. The smoke came down towards between kind of car and crossover, which denies Otto to do any damage. So they've got the staggered utility, which prevents the fallback shots from the AWPer. So at that point, there's just nothing left for Contact to do, and retaking it without any nades is pretty ridiculously hard. It's a pretty low percentage. So. And the thing for HAVU here as well is that they've shown that, okay, if you're going to allow us to go for our default, get that cat control, we can hit you with that. And I would imagine that we're going to see a lot more of those defaults, and we're going to see a lot of permutations of how it actually ends up being executed. Get a long take. Esperanto. Okay, he was really late to throw that molly. I'm not sure if he had a bad spawn or what that was. Yeah,
he outstayed his welcome. Thought he was good. He wasn't good then.
Yeah, and here's this upper tons push I was talking about when you lose long.
Ron's got to go first now. Yeah. Take one in the face. Awkward for Otto. Oh no, he's pulled a grenade out, but he's back on the gun, and the pre-fire is there. And this round has been dismantled.
Yep. This is what I'm talking about. It's like if you the long takes are so strong, and it forces a reaction from the CTs. They feel like a lot of pressure, and there is some pretty bog standard responses you can kind of account for. Look how easy the rounds become now. And Doto is still just sitting in B. He could just really threaten this flank.
HAVU look firmly in control now.
Yeah.
Even though the score is tied, the fashion in which the rounds are being won feels confident for them. Contact just having to walk away quietly to desperately hope they can hold on to their weapons.
This was another reason why I wanted, like, if I'm Contact, I want to start on the T side, because obviously it's just a map where the T side is really, really strong, but the other team the team playing it has to know how to abuse what is really strong about the T side. And some teams just refuse to understand how the map works, and they just don't play it correctly.
I refuse to understand.
And we saw from HAVU on Train that they actually understood how to run a lot of different strats on Train, so they definitely get trained. So I was confident that we're going to see like a proper Dust 2 T side. And if you get a proper Dust 2 T side, you get 10+ rounds.
3-3, 3 rounds in a row now for HAVU. Might turn out to relief that Contact won the pistol. Again, they chose to start on the CT side. But it's still early and things can still turn around. In this round, they have the 2 Kriegs. They've got a cat boost. And again, if you don't have a player suicide, you can't see them coming up cat. However, Hoodie is in lower tunnel, which will do the job. Looking for the boost is Emmy, but Hoodie's to his right already. Can't be seen just yet. Hoodie keeping the CTs honest. HAVU have taken control of long, and in the meantime they're waiting. They know it's desperate for Contact. They know Contact have to make something happen. There are flashes for Contact on Chips and Emmy, but there's no position towards long to use them. So once the smokes go up towards Cat, then maybe they'll have to use them to try and burst. Emmy spots Hoodie, going for the 1 versus 1. He does not win out on that one.
That's actually, this is really smart what HAVU are doing right now. I'll go into that in a moment exactly why, but they're going to take the A-bomb side for free now. There'll be some kill, there'll be like a kill in mid there, and so he needs to make sure that he doesn't overcommit himself. He just has to stay alive around the flank, and then his other teammates, who is already playing the AWP pin, I think it's actually planted for him over towards long, so this is going to be almost impossible for Contact. They don't have a kill here.
Both on Ryland, so it is possible for sure. They could, if they take out the Goose player in Zoto, which they can boost where Ships is standing, and have a look over there potentially. Here comes the boost. Oh, and there he goes. So if Roland drops a smoke on the side, this is absolutely doable. Make sure you don't mess it up, though. Up goes the smoke. There might actually be a gap there. This could actually potentially work out. We'll see. Zori needs to start shooting, though. He's aiming for the lower players. Bomb is being defused, and that's a perfect shot onto Esperanto's head. Delivering kill after kill now, Zori. I think he may have done enough. Also on a low ground, will he even survive? He'll pick up the AWP. That smoke was key, though, and they'll make it more costly for HAVU, I would presume.
Yeah.
But it's still around for them. Yeah,
it's a great plant because it's safe from Cat, but it's still planted for long if you stand on that plat. But what I'm saying is really strong for HAVU is HAVU took... This goes into the point that they understand how to play this map. They took long. They know that the CTs have to be on Catwalk because there was no long presence. So where are they going to be? Well, there's going to be at least 2 players on Cat. So then what happens is they HAVU throw the smoke, which is the Xbox smoke, in the double doors, which suggests that they're going to be taking Catwalk. And then that draws the CTs into Catwalk further, and then that opens up the A site for the long players to just have a free bomb site because the CTs are thinking that they have to commit onto Cat. So they just that is just amazing that HAVU they understand the game in that way to kind of fake that Cat take. So that's the problem, James, because c0ntact they're facing against a team who know what they're doing right now.
Polite flashbang from Slowy towards Short. You can see the updated numbers just came and went from Pinnacle. ME deep on long. c0ntact suffering. Even with 2 AWPs, a really big buy. Everyone's playing passively. Everyone's just waiting for HAVU to make their play. No aggression towards long. No aggression. Cat. No one in mid, although Otto's starting to creep. Not sure if he's got anyone to flash for him. Have to flash for himself. So c0ntact are just waiting. HAVU in complete control. Otto goes down for free. c0ntact starting to look lost now.
Yeah, HAVU are doing so many correct things. It's really awesome. This is a... Oh, sneaky. I was going to say it's a sneaky spot around the smoke, but Roland will get
what was he
spotted.
What was going on there?
I'm not 100% sure,
as
but
to what just happened.
The round is over, though.
I'm thinking maybe Roland... Okay, Roland disconnected, as I can see in the chat. You can't see it, because it didn't make sense what just happened.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. It looked at first like he was playing on the side of the smoke, but...
Yeah, there was just no reason for him to be pointing in that fashion.
Yeah, so he wasn't like aiming the right spot.
I think he was repositioning and got disconnected. That's very unfortunate for c0ntact, but they were getting wrecked everywhere else anyway.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. But, I mean, I don't know that it would have had that much of an impact on the round necessarily, because c0ntact just looked like they were waiting to become victims in that round.
Yeah, it was just a lurk play, and on the main kind of push on the A site with the bomb down and everything was a success. So I'm really enjoying just seeing the fact that like HAVU are making so many good decisions, and it's just like they understand that it's not just we see that you know people take long, so that's what you're supposed to do. It's like they get why, and they get what the responses are. Then they throw that they have counter plays in store for that, and they extract value in all the right ways. And c0ntact don't know what to do, and that's kind of why this map's really hard on the CT side.
Yeah.
Is it at the very like S tier level of Counter-Strike when you're seeing like an Astralis play the CT side, the levels of creativity I've seen from Astralis is actually so insane to try to mitigate how difficult it is to play CT side against a team that knows what they're doing on the T side.
HAVU are 69% on Dust 2, and c0ntact are about 25, which does not bode well as a deciding map. And again, it kind of feels like they don't really have many ideas to take the game away from HAVU on the CT side, because they had a huge buy there. But again, there was nothing proactive. They were just everyone across the map was just waiting for HAVU to do whatever they wanted to do. So at what point were they going to try and respond to that? I don't know. We never really saw anything in that round. Again, Ryland timed out, so hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. Rumour has it there is an update to the game potentially coming out today, and with Half-Life Alyx coming out tomorrow, give me
my skins.
Some people are hoping it's a Krieg nerf.
A Krieg nerf.
But I would imagine it's related to Half-Life Alyx. Maybe it's bundled with something else. Maybe it comes with a Krieg nerf for the holidays, so to speak.
You mean like the people who got the He got Alex or the index or whatever. That
Alex
gives you
Flash
the
index before December.
So I'll get the patch with the Krieg nerf, and the rest of you guys have to keep playing with the overpowered Kriegs. Maybe that.
So you get a worse Krieg, and everyone else gets a good one.
Well, no, we just like split the community.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, Dan.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what's happening here.
Doesn't really make sense, but
maybe we'll soon see what the item is. Maybe it's those gloves that we saw in the demos. Yeah. There's a Valve actually put up a video of someone picking up a chair, one of those head crabs kind of flying at the chair, and they're throwing at the chair out the window. So that game's going to be so interesting. Should be soon, we're told. c0ntact getting their 5th player back on the server. We need to see something from them. Maybe this is kind of timely, actually. Maybe stunt the momentum of HAVU. Probably not, though, because they don't really feel like they're being... There's no challenge, really, for whatever they want to do. Emmy was playing passive towards long, so I think they're going to let them have the choke points. And then, I mean, there's potential to kind of flash and go for the retake afterwards with Emmy's position, but we never got to see that.
It's not like HAVU's players are like, oh, they got a couple guys running super hard or something like that. They're actually winning this map strategically and tactically. It's not coming down to just having your star players going off. Yeah. Everyone's just kind of doing what they're supposed to within the setups of the rounds, and it's working out really well. And they've got a good mixture of how they're playing things. Now, what I'm interested in is, like, if I'm c0ntact, the first thing is that you never want to, like, they need to make sure that they just, at this point, just make sure they shut down long as best they can and find ways to do that. And I don't know how successful it will be, because HAVU should presumably have the correct responses to that, but c0ntact need to not lose that position, because that's the only thing that you have. Going to catwalk afterwards, HAVU have already shown that they know how to deal with that. So I don't know what there is left for c0ntact to do if they can't hold on to some of these positions.
As I said, even though I picked c0ntact for this, I think HAVU are slept on for the time being. We'll see if that changes as the tournament progresses. Esperanto and Otto now deep on short, but they're doing this on basically the eco round with the weapons they saved. I would like to see them do this on the buy round. Otto and Emmy, the only men with rifles at present. Otto having a pot shot. But where's this aggression when they've got all the tools in the toolbox? So we saw he ran away as he threw that smoke in mid, so as not to get sprayed. HAVU now in a 4 versus 3. The AWP's been taken away, being collected again by Esperanto. Riding with an off angle, almost there. Lots of free fight from Doto as he tries to fall back, but he can't do it.
So the 2v2, it's a chance here for c0ntact to get something going, but they don't have good positions. Esperanto is going to have to hit some crazy shots. We know that he's good for that. Has the AWP as well as the Deagle to work with. The smoke will go down to help them get the bomb plant safely. That's a really annoying smoke, because that's where Esperanto might want to swing. I don't know if he's going to be jumping and giving his position away here before his teammate has arrived. That would not be wise. Ryan now will be known as he fires some shots off from long. That gives Esperanto some distraction to work with. It's perfect. Taking the attention away is Ryan, and Esperanto looking to finish things off. Hoodie with a great response to take him down. Now it's just one shot from Hoodie to end it all in this round for c0ntact. And that was a good chance, a good try by c0ntact, James.
Yeah, but it was a good try with 2 rifles. Let's do it with 5.
Yeah. Well, you could see that HAVU did a very similar thing. They took long, forced c0ntact onto Cat, but c0ntact actually didn't heavily commit Cat. And HAVU did the Xbox smoke to draw players deeper into Cat again, but this time c0ntact, I think, realized, and they just kept their players ready to receive the swing on a long.
From c0ntact point of view, we know it's possible to make HAVU uncomfortable. Maybe it's harder on Dust 2 being in such a simple map. But I'd like to see them do something. They've got control of long at the very least. Emmy will be left in situ again. Esperanto falling back, but he's got 2 flashes if they're required. Saw looking for something. There's a kill from Ships. Nice so far from c0ntact. They've got control of all the relevant choke points for the time being. But now Emmy's deep alone on long, but there's no one coming to help him, to challenge him anytime soon. Also, he's holding the off angle, so if Doto just walks out towards Xbox, he would die, most likely. Oh no, he's even deeper. So he's in a position where he can fall back, maybe looking to escape. He's heard the sound cue of someone falling off, trying to fish for something. Waves a flashbang, and indeed Doto just walks in, which is probably not a good idea. Didn't want to give the game away, took a gamble, didn't work out. There's a charge towards the A-bomb site for HAVU. Now, we've got a lot of trouble here. Emmy has no more flashes to help Esperanto, so He's alone for the time being. He goes 1-for-1. Otto now in shotgun mode with the AWP. That smoke provides some cover, actually, for him to get onto the bomb site. Takes one out, avoids the trade kill. Oh my god, Otto's, it's always him.
So I think if I'm HAVU now, I don't let c0ntact have long again. Obviously, it can be a little bit spawn dependent, but you can see like once you have that secured, it's a lot more comfortable for the CTs. HAVU like looked for that pick on B. I think they were hoping that there would be just only one man in B, and that they would be c0ntact would be playing instead like a 1-1-3 setup, so having one man in mid, 3 on A. But they had 2 still on B at a kind of delayed timing. I think that really caught HAVU off guard. And they do have a pretty good spawn for long actually right now, so I would be surprised not to see them to go for a long take here. And these 2 players across. There's the molly.
There you go. Your prayers have been answered, Dan. And there's a trade frag as well. Ship's trying to do what he can, but as he waits, it gets worse and worse. There are more flashes for Zori. He's seen the legs of Ship. He's got teammates here as well. Ship's going for that transfer, trying to hold on to long, but eventually he's going to fall back, and there's just too many man. Man advantage now for HAVU. They valiantly took long. Big fight from c0ntact. And now, of course, it's the man Otto, but he's got trouble from both directions. Up cat, I think he might have seen, but too late. c0ntact will take him out, and Ryland doesn't have much to do here. See what he goes for. If he catches somebody on the cross, that bomb does need to cross, but that's a big smoke grenade. That obscures all the vision. What has he got to lose? Does he go for this?
Yeah, he's got a Krieg right now, so I think that does create quite the argument that you might want to just save for it. It's a 1v3. He does have a kit, but there are 3 players for HAVU, so that means that there's only 3 places he could come from. So that's like a player for each area. You can see, sorry, he's watching.
It's a 1v1. Go for it.
Wrong doors and but yeah, he'll save the Krieg, which I think is really wise. This worked out really well for HAVU. They went for that long take. They didn't even like heavy commit into it. They only had 2 players out of the double doors. Like a lot of teams will send more players on a fast timing with good spacing, but they only had two going for a fast timing with good spacing. And I was surprised actually that Ships unloaded his whole Krieg, James, and then ran away. It's because, I mean, you bring this point up quite a lot. If you're going to spray a smoke, leave yourself with like some like 5 or 10 bullets, because you're going to probably get pushed. Because people, like at this level, people understand the sound cues. They understand if you've just been shooting all of your bullets.
It was an awkward situation for him because there were some reinforcements that came. We had a 3rd man come through the doors, and you don't know when it's the right time to
taking the gamble,
to fall back behind that smoke grenade. Hoodie has his game has crashed, so we are going to be waiting for him to reconnect to the server. 7-for-4 for HAVU at present, and indeed it's been great to watch HAVU actually play on this T side of Dust 2. Yeah. They have won 7 of the last 8 rounds, just that diffuse with Otto hopping onto the site, which is something you're not going to replicate very often. But again, as you said, Dan, you wanted to see them, HAVU being them, take long, took it immediately, put the numbers there, and c0ntact are struggling on the CT side, which they chose. But again, it might be that they want to try and finish strong and have the T side afterwards. But 4 rounds from 11, it's not great, but it's something.
Yeah, some teams are better on like dealing with just, oh, we've lost long, and just like we're going to adapt and take cat and kind of make plays happen from there and give up long and so on, and maybe go for the retake. But it is definitely, that's like harder to do, and I think we could clearly see that c0ntact, every time they've been in that position where they're like, oh god, we've given up long, or we've lost long, we're on cat now, they've been really uncomfortable. HAVU converted those rounds almost every single time, which is why I was like saying, instead of just letting the CTs go long because you want to spread players out more, just take long, because it's every response c0ntact have had is been very uncomfortable. So yeah, HAVU converting the right rounds so far, and they're showing us great Counter-Strike. That's like another thing too. Like, I think, a lot of teams we've been casting last few days as well have had a lot of problems with their T-side approach. HAVU are doing all the right things on maps which are, Dust is a simple map, but they're doing the right basics and the right kind of expanded like bit after that. Like, okay, what's the response to those good basics? Okay, you got a response for that. Like, that's the level they're playing here. And on Train as well, they had a pretty deep playbook. And people were surprised they were going to pick Train. I think HAVU are definitely like a massive dark horse in Flashpoint 1.
Yeah. I'm actually loving the content from their interviews and
on.
It is really funny. But again, I think that kind of catches you under the radar because you don't have those strong personalities to kind of latch onto like you see from some of the more popular teams. But I think it's clear if you're actually paying attention to their games that there is something to this team and they're going to catch people off guard.
Yeah.
At least the viewers who will not be too focused on their games. But maybe now's the time to focus because we've seen plenty of good things from them today so far. Hoodie has to restart his entire PC, log back onto his intertubes.
Well, maybe he's got an SSD. Maybe it's that M2 SSD, that 5-second reboot.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Love a fast reboot, but then like if you got a super long password,
yeah,
it can be longer to type that in than the actual reboot sometimes.
It is actually really satisfying if you just built a PC and like there's nothing, no crap on the hard disk. Yeah, you've got that clean SSD and you boot it, it just like Windows just immediately pops off after you press the power button. It's just like really satisfying for some reason.
That's the worst thing if you buy a pre-built PC. Like when I used to have a Packard Bell long time ago, 1.6 days, or a laptop, they always come with like bloatware, especially for audio. I hate the one where you plug in an audio source and you have this pop-up that says, what if you just plugged in? It's like, why do you need any of that? Nobody wants that. No gamer wants that kind of thing. All it does is cause problems. Let's give you 7.1 sound. I don't want 7.1 sound. I just want sound. It's the normal stuff. Stop ruining things.
Yeah, I was actually having this issue with like networking used to be like really easy and intuitive to me with the older Windows, but in Windows 10 I've been like trying to do some networking stuff, like setting up networks and stuff. And just like there's all this like random crap in the way of just setting up a network. I just want to assign IPs, have like a network group, and then just be done with it. But it's not as simple as that anymore. It's just like, why is everything being automated in a way that's like really slowing me down here? Yeah,
they always just move things around as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like moving everything. Stop moving it.
It's like, leave the room. I'm going to move things around. You've got to try and find like, the blue cup. You go back into the room. Everything's like upside down and stuff. So
that's crazy. A really good analogy. Yeah. That's very.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Hoodie is back on the server. We should be good to go. I have to say though, Satya Nadella's doing good stuff for Microsoft, man. He's really changing stuff. They tried to remove MS Paint. Can you believe that? That's like, you got to be in tune with your customers, man. If you're trying to remove MS Paint, you're an idiot. I have an enamel pin of MS Paint. It's MS Paint is serious, man. MS Paint art. I'm sure there's a subreddit for it somewhere.
Yeah, man.
These guys are pretty much good to go. The countdown has begun. We're back into the game at 7-4 for HAVU. We're going to continue. c0ntact trying to be proactive now, trying to take control of the game as best they can, which is hard on the CT side of Dust 2, but proving very hard versus HAVU.
They have got 4 rounds right now, and honestly, HAVU are doing a lot of stuff right, so that's actually really good. They've got 4 rounds, and it sounds not great. But if they can get 5 or 6, I think they're in a pretty good spot, as long as they can play a good T side, obviously. But here goes Esperanto. It's been flashed in. Are they committing to this? Not quite. That could be dangerous. I don't know if they have space to fall back entirely. They're going to drop another smoke so they can fall back. But let's not also forget the fact that c0ntact have tossed a lot of nades to try to take long control, and they don't have it. So they burned utility without result. Now, once again, they're in this uncomfortable position, sat on catwalk. And we know that HAVU has a variety of ways to play from this position. They could smoke, they could do the CT smoke from here, or they could wrap around and do a split, or they could just power their way forwards.
It's lucky that c0ntact were able to escape that situation. Otto being on A, ideally you'd want to have him flashing for his teammates while they run back, but they were light on grenades in the first place, so they had to put the smoke down instead. Now we can see HAVU creeping, looking to catch them by surprise. And again, c0ntact, they tried to take long, they failed to, and now they're playing a reactive game. No risks being taken, really. They're holding on to short, not checking any lurker. They're just playing completely static and just waiting for HAVU to make their play. What's their response going to be like? They've got a smoke. They've got no mollies or anything like that. Emmy, very dangerous play here. Tries to create space for himself with a smoke up. Stands up, gets one in the face immediately. Esperanto now on a low ground. There's one flash onto Ralen, who's on B, so they can't even use that to try and make a play through the smoke. How do c0ntact win this round?
Yeah, again, like there's so little utility, they're going to just go back and save, it seems. And I got to say, again, you got to look at the detail for HAVU here, because they've thought out these situations. There's many teams that don't do this. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick them as well, is because they have played so much Counter-Strike with this team that means that they've put themselves in a lot of different scenarios. So again, here they're in a spot where they decide they got long control, and I like that they have this round. It's like, we want to keep it simple. We want to just push all 5 towards that A-bomb site. Like, how do you do that correctly? What are the counter plays the CTs can have, and what are the other objectives? So what they did was they slow played it a little bit. They didn't just all toss their smokes at once, and they know they have already utility advantage, and so they walk across the smoke, so the CTs don't have sound cues to spray them down. Then they get towards ramp, and at that point, they have trade spacing on the site. They have more nades to throw forwards. They're just in position to win straight away. It's just they're doing everything right.
Yeah, so I guess in that round, if Emmy goes down on the bomb site, the round is over, basically. And I think they accepted that with the lack of utility they have. They have a lot more on this occasion, so we'll see if we see something better from them. I think that when they tried to cut their losses because of how awkward it was without the utility. Otto and Emmy now focusing on long. No presence towards short from c0ntact at the beginning. Ships is around the smoke with a second AWP in CT spawn. Now he heads towards the B bomb site.
c0ntact are actually feeling the B, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close towards long as well. I think Otto might be looking towards long doors. So this is the kind of aggression we were looking for somewhere. We see some from Otto. In the meantime, Ships is picked off towards that B bomb site. Now, does Otto dare go further than this?
With the AWP as well, it's not comfortable. The thing here is with that kill on B, you'd think that HAVU would be split off of that, knowing that you got a kill on B, because they shouldn't know that c0ntact have 3 towards the B side of the map, but they're not. They're going onto catwalk pressure now, and it looks like they may just commit onto the A side, which is painful for c0ntact right now, because they're in this classic 1-1 setup on the A bomb site. It's very hard to defend this.
And again, there's no flashes. Normally, your sniper's supposed to support the players along with flashes. All the players are on A. They can't do either because there's no flashes. They just got to stand and wait once again for HAVU to come. And come they will, and delete them.
That's so sick. Again, they had all the right utility in the right place. This isn't about the star players. This is about them understanding exactly what the CTs, like what they can do and where they're going to be standing, and knowing exactly the right nades to throw and how to like space their players and the timings to attack. This is such a good T side right now.
HAVU heading towards number 9. c0ntact being dismantled on the A bomb site. You can have control of long. You still can't defend A.
Wow, they're playing it so well. It's like it just makes me so happy to see a team that's just put the work in the right ways. A lot of teams just put hours in, but hours don't make a good anything. Yeah. Hours are useless if they're not used correctly.
You can spend 100 hours in the last 2 weeks playing CS, but if you haven't used them efficiently, what does it matter?
151 timing. Well, c0ntact, again, they have 4 rounds. It feels like they may not get any more because of how well HAVU are playing. They're actually just shutting c0ntact down so hard with the positioning, the utility, the team play.
It's chess versus checkers, as rappers would say.
Right. It looks like HAVU are going to go into that cat default again, and I don't know if c0ntact are going to want to challenge this or not. I mean, they only have Otto here. He's just playing this drop spot, but there's always a flash for this.
If he gets flashed off, how do c0ntact win the round? That's my question. If he gets flashed off of Cat, how do they win the round? Because you've got Esperanto in mid doors. Ships is playing crossfire pretty much with Ralen on the B bomb site. Emmy's deep and he's miles away from everyone, alone on B. Again, there's a complete shortage of flashbangs for c0ntact to respond to any side pushes from HAVU. So Otto falls off. And again, the question raises again. HAVU can hear that someone's in CT spawn, and they can hear that Otto fell off Cat as well. So they know where 2 of the players are. You have to assume somebody's focused on long. So they've got a lot of information here. Doto's creeping towards B once again.
He's looking for that info play from the CTs. He doesn't have to actually go into the B1 site, but the thing is his teammates have pressured A so hard they're actually going to go for a B split now. So they haven't showed this round yet. Doto's... Oh, there was actually an off angle in favor of Ralen there, but Doto will take him down anyway. And here comes the B split. This is so devastating. Ships is alone on the side. He's got to do so much. Slowy will take him down in the trade.
And that's it.
And they're out of position again, c0ntact. Another clinic of how to play T-sides from HAVU.
It's pretty awesome to watch.
It is. It really is.
I would hope that HAVU will get some fans, at least from some of these halves that we've seen from him in this series. Definitely one to watch for Flashpoint 1. c0ntact now moving into the last round. We've got the MP9s out, the FAMAS. It's just a crappy buy altogether, which demands even more aggression. 3 3 MP9s, 1 FAMAS, and 1 Scout here.
The timings of just everything is so good. Just like the Doto's timing there to push was perfect with the way that the push was coming in from mid as well. Like there's all the little details. This is the thing, like if you play the basics well, you don't need superstar players. Just play the basics correctly. There's all manner of advantages you can get. It's not just by having a 1v1 duel that can come from positioning and just out calling your opponent, having better utility usage and everything else. Good trading, good positioning. And HAVU playing a default here, slower default actually. You can see they're looking for a push. They know that that c0ntact are in a spot where they have to just force buy because it's the last round and that they don't have the money to have great weapons. So you can see that they understand that, okay, well, Chips just showed himself there towards the long doors. But HAVU are safe against it. They know what's possible and they're protecting themselves. Delayed long take. Only the MP9 is here. Good flash, and there's a trade.
4 on 4. Emmy trying to hold on to Cat once again. He's got Otto here with the FAMAS. No AWP for him. 12 for 8 is Otto, but not being enough on this CT side. He is the top fragger on the server. HAVU looking for 11 now. Rollin and Emmy very active in mid, and Sword's just not showing at the moment. He's got a sound cue. Surely he hears Esperanto rotating. He needs to activate soon. 28 seconds for this bomb to get planted. Now we've got CTs behind the smoke. No one on the site itself. There's a flashbang play through the smoke, which I was asking for earlier. It won't work out on this occasion, though, but at least they tried it. 3 on 2. 15 seconds. The bomb still needs to get planted. You've got a flank from Sword. That one's really crucial. Frags on either side, and it's 11 rounds for HAVU. A great T side of Dust 2 from them.
Yeah, this is one of the best T sides I've seen this tournament, just from them in this series. I'm incredibly impressed. I don't know if there's a world where c0ntact can bounce back. There's no way that they can play as good of a T side. There just isn't a way, James. Surely.
We'll find out after the breakdown. Coming up after this game, c0ntact and co will be waiting at the blind spot. If you want to see more crotch action from c0ntact, then tune in after the game. But for now, we're going to be going into the second half of Dust 2. HAVU up 11-4. A masterclass on the T side. Can they close it out on the T, though? On the CT, excuse me, as they close it out with Force on train.
Yeah, I think one thing that's worth noting is that whilst we've praised the T sides of HAVU, so far the CT sides have seemed lackluster that we've seen so far. So that does create a world in which c0ntact obviously can bring themselves back into this. You know, HAVU definitely a T-sided team from what I've seen so far, but they should be able to cobble something together here. And I don't know about the Julies purchased from Doto. Don't like that, but we'll see if he can make it work. Shifts is going to get shot in the face. And upper tons control already for HAVU. That's going to give them loads of info. They already know it's going to be an A play at this point.
There are situations where you can use the Julies. Basically, it's like Julies 5-7 CZ. If you're in a position where there might be a rush and you've got a tight choke point, then they can be of use. I think he had a HE grenade. So if there was a B rush, for example, and he hits them with the HE, then those Julies could start a massacre. Plenty of range here with these USPs to do more damage. Lots of c0ntact players showing up long. 2 of them are lost. Now what do? They've only got Glocks versus the USPs, and they're kind of just stuck.
Yeah, they tried to face all at once with the Glocks, and you can see the USPs just own them.
It's Dust 2, man. Where the P250s at?
Yeah. Yeah, with this strat, having a couple P250s I think would have been really good. You're completely right. Oh, there's no hard check of the car position. That's a wrap, James. 12 to 4, they're going to pick up. There's no bomb plant. That's a huge problem. I think c0ntact, or in general, a good piece of advice is like what HAVU actually did as well. Like, so just it doesn't matter if you win or lose the pistol rounds, especially on Dust 2. Just run a pistol that's going to reliably give you a bomb plant. Because if you can get that bomb plant, it just makes a world of difference.
Yeah, how about that then? There you go.
All right, okay.
There you go.
Unbeliever.
And we got puke sprays as well. Love to see it. Love to see it. c0ntact will have Deagles out. They've gone for the force by AWP as well. No one can really hold on to anything at this point. Can't save your money when you're 4-12 down. Very quickly through the halls into the lower tunnels. Flashbang through middle doors. There'll be a burst, but Sword's able to fall back. Surely he can make it to the B doors. I know he's in front of them. That's kind of awkward. He's made it. He's escaped. Right, they've got possession of the middle area. The choke points, though, can still be held on to. Slowly's got the scout for the tunnel position. He's going to get taken out from the window, though. There's 3 of them there, but it seems there's a bit of this coordination from HAVU, and there's a chance now for c0ntact. 4 versus 2 as they take the B bomb site. Surely more of them should have died there.
Yeah, there's definitely taking up a tons there from the site when you know there's a big split coming on the B site is definitely the play most teams would make, to not be in a position like they were where they get split like that. And now it's going to be really hard to get in. There's a flashbang on Zori. Could just toss it towards the tons so that his teammate can peek. And there's a plat player. Oh, that's very difficult. Has a scout in hand as well. Can they get some kills at least here? There's a couple. And so Hoodie's going to make it away with the FAMAS. Maybe. Should be able to get out of there. But yeah, normally in this situation, especially when you're 3 players on the B bomb site, go for like a hard tons push. I mean, obviously they expected they could hold against the pistols. Maybe that's why they didn't do it. Maybe in a buy round they would have. But that's kind of the luxury of having 3 players on B. So I don't know why they were so hesitant to do it.
I think if the scout player would just stood a little further back, so not showing to the window. Better not show to the window and show to the door than the other way around, because it's easier for his teammates to hold the door. Yeah. Then stop the T's from having an angle on him from the window. Charging into the B bomb site. There's a nice HE grenade from Doto, but what else can he do? He needs to buy some time. It's slowly coming in to help with the scout at close range, going for the flicks. Esperanto blind. Get taken out by the USP instead. And there could be some carnage here for c0ntact. Could all end once again. Doto now with the Deagle, smashing them to pieces. Surely it can't be done. It's so fast, so ridiculous. And it's 13 for HAVU.
It looks like we were just like watching FY Pool Day right there. Just like people just jumping around, just like... so that's quite a nice recovery for HAVU. c0ntact, they kind of have to force by like every round almost at this point, especially given where the money is, and you can't afford to let HAVU get a grip of their economy. So here we go again. Could Ships deliver something here? Oh no, Slowly. Good kill on long though. That does give them long control.
They've got 1 smoke to cross, though.
That's a good point.
On Emmy, who's in T-spawn to collect the bomb. Maybe he won't even make it there. Esperanto going through mid doors, trying to see what's what. Sora's quietly... Oh, no, not quietly. Oh, he's jumped! Oh, no. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Now we've got a 4 versus 2 all of a sudden. They're going to continue to trade. Zori now is going to lose this Krieg with 29 HP. What on earth is going on? This is very back and forth. Will that flash come fast enough? There's a player below him. We'll focus on that, but there's 2. And c0ntact are back in business. This is not good for the CT side. It's
not. It definitely isn't. It's a really weird spot. They kind of have to force buy because that money's so bad on 2 or 3 of the players, so they're gonna just go for the force buy. You don't want to be in this situation for sure. Like, you know, you just need 4 buys on the CT side. You need all the AWPs, all the utility. This is the worst map, I think, in the pool to force buy on the CT side. It's just out there. No response. Just a dial tone from HAVU right now. And there you go, long is cleared. The force buys failed, as they often do on this map.
The score's going to be reasonably close now.
Yeah.
Reasonably. Because the loss bonus for HAVU's in the bin, which certainly helps c0ntact. If they can get the coordination together. I don't know what happened on that round towards B, but they can't have too many more of those. Slowy will look to hold on to the scout if he can. Not much going on here though. Bombs being planted on the A-bomb site. And what else is there to say? c0ntact are on a comeback trail. As you can see, there's no money for HAVU, so they should be in trouble for a little while. So c0ntact, I think they've got to target 10 rounds here. Once they get to 10, they can look at 13 and so on, but let's keep the targets in reasonable sight, and 10 certainly is.
It'd be nice to keep this scout into the next round, because they're on a full save next rounds, and just having 1 scout could be good for a kill or 2. Slowy did, he actually got an opening, was it this round? I'm trying to think. Who was it that got the kill from the doors, where you swing past the gap and then shoot through the doors? Was it Slowy? I'm not sure. Either way, the scout is like, there's some players that are like actually absurdly good at that. Like, I don't know, it feels like they just go to matchmaking and just practice that every round because of how good they are and consistent they are with it. So maybe there's a chance for a couple scout kills here. Keep the economy down for c0ntact. Lots of players here to recycle the scout, and Dink, I guess, through the wall there.
Yeah, he's got an AWP as well, and the USPs. Oh no. Oh no. How long does Rylan stay for? Scoped in. Well, he's going to put some work in. He knows Hoodie's here as well. Running low on bullets though. Got to be real careful. He's got some cover for the reload, but he just about gets there. Otto shoots a foot, and it's a 2 versus 3. This is winnable for HAVU. It's potentially winnable. Sordo surely goes past point of no return, misses his shot, but somehow he is still alive. You've got tags in T spawn in the meantime. The bomb's on the B bomb site planted. This is all over the shop. Rylan maybe get caught out here, but then the same could be said for Saw. Taking an off angle as well. Everyone who's free-for-all deathmatch knows where that CT appears. Right there. Another very bizarre round, which goes the way of c0ntact. As long as they win them, doesn't matter the fashion.
Yeah, and I think for HAVU, they can just be happy that they got a couple kills out of this round, because it was just a safe scout and USPs. And so they've kept the economy at least, you know, somewhat hampered or hindered. Yep, 8 rounds for c0ntact. We're going to go into a buy here for HAVU. Zori, you know, I'm happy to see that he left enough money in the tank to be able to get the AWP with Kevlar, with nades. And what are we looking at for, like, on the kit front? So just Slowy, who has a kit at the moment. That can be an issue, as getting the plants obviously is not too difficult on this map. So yeah, just 1 kit and it's on Slowy. So he's been playing around mids a lot of the time.
Esperanto taking the spawn with the AWP towards long, and there'll be no connection there.
No incendiary on this door position as well. That's usually the money, because if you get the incendiary and the T's don't smoke it, you can get across the pit, and their lives is much harder.
Now what? We see players, teams which take long, hold for quite a while. You just hold position. Maybe fearful of a retake or something, some junk to be thrown by the C2's WHE grenade as Otto starts to creep. Can he make his way towards platform? At this point, it would be pretty risky for him to try and get up there. If there are angles being held from A, it will be costly. Now we've got ships in Suicide, who will be showing some presence toward mid, making sure no one's behind Xbox looking low at tunnel, which will just deny some information. There was a pop flash for Slowy, but he didn't take the engagement there. I think he was fearful of getting taken out. Smoke's up now, and HAVU will creep around him. We didn't see this kind of thing from Contact in the first half either. Anyway, if you only have a smoke, you don't just put it in front of people to move around. Now we've got the man advantage for Contact just about. Zori's been seen by Gandalf, and there's problems for HAVU. They're getting cut to pieces, but there are trades, so the numbers are still close. Saw trying to show presence, but Zori's taken out now. They know exactly where Saw is in the meantime. Otto on the pistol. Only 2 of the 3 players here for Contact, and there's 18 seconds to plant a bomb. Ships coming in from CT spawn once again. Saw's in the smoke. He'll get taken out from the back. And there is a round for Contact.
Yeah, that definitely went a bit better, I think, for HAVU than it did Contact, when Contact were on that CT side and on the receiving end of those long plays. And smart stuff from Contact. They realized the potential. I think they saw Slowy's foot go into that smoke. The smoke went a little bit too deep for Slowy there, because you want to kind of connect it against the wall so you can kind of like run behind it, and they can't possibly see your feet. And but one thing again is that another reason why you need that full utility is so that you can lock down this long position, and we can see how much value Contact are getting from this. It's almost a crutch as well for teams that don't have a well-developed Dust 2 T side. Is as long as you can just get long, if the other team can't deal with it, then you don't need to be able to do anything else. You can build so many good rounds off of it. And once again, they'll just get their way into long. Here comes the tons push from CTs to get the info. And you know there's got to be a lurker around here somewhere. They see nothing, they're going to fall back. They know it's an A play again.
See Doto trying to assist with a smoke for his teammates to creep up on. Zori in that smoke now. But there's plenty of time for Contact. They can be patient. Oh dear. Hoodie with some nice cover and the Deagle. And now they're trying to swarm HAVU. There's no flash for them though, so when do they pick the right time? Slow with the AWP up close. There's another trade. So awkward. Zori taken out on the site. Those are the big threats gone. Esperanto will find both of them. A burst and a tap, and Contact have made it to 10. Where are HAVU? Where have they gone?
Yeah, they need to lock down long. It's like basically the only thing that's working for Contact. Contacts are not defaulting or anything else. They're just taking long, taking long. HAVU needs to get the incendiary in, get to pit. If the T's decide to smoke the incendiary, well, that's something else. That's like a different conversation, but we haven't even got that far yet. So we'll see, like, again, as I said, like, typically you flash for your teammate to throw the incendiary in, he crosses the pit. They're actually going to use a smoke to assist here. There's they do get the incendiary there, okay. So that's good. Now they have control this long position. What does Contact do if they don't have long control in the buy versus buy rounds?
Contact trying to make the comeback as HAVU did on Mirage. Can they go one better though? Or two, rather, since it was 16-14 to Contact. Long take has failed. Got that common smoke up on mid doors, but no one's watching it at present. We've got Hoodie towards long. Zori and Slowy on the A-bomb site. Slowy with the UMP, just holding from Goose. Now, just like on the CT side for Contact, we saw a lack of flashbangs late on. Similar situation for HAVU. They've got just a few grenades here and there. Saw holding onto an incendiary, which could be deployed towards the B-bomb site. It seems like the split is on as well, so that might be pretty important.
Oh my God.
Does he actually survive all these flames? No, no! Doto down to 29, but he's alive. 40 seconds on the clock, and they're starting to wonder now. They're nervous towards mid-doors. They don't really have any cover. Zori's watching, but once the smoke goes up, he'll have nothing to do. Charging into the A-bomb site. Esperanto's way ahead of his teammates, but here come the kills. Contact going for it. The second player by the car only gets one.
And this is a strange round in the sense that HAVU was there was zero pressure on Catwalk, and what the CTs will often do is they'll have somebody that can at least like have a peek onto Catwalk or whatever, so that you can see if someone goes there. And obviously, if the T's take that position, they're going to flash, so you always get the chance to fall off pretty much without dying. And if they were to peek it dry, well, you get a chance to get a kill as well. But at least you get the information that there's nothing on Cat. Because HAVU had no info about Cat, they didn't know they didn't know that they had to rotate someone to CT or that there could even be a B split coming. So HAVU was just way too in the dark. And this kind of reminds me of the other CT sides we've seen of HAVU, where like on the T side they show you like all the right things, but they don't seem to connect the dots on their CT sides as well. So I would hope to see that they get some information on Cat and not just sit like this, James, because the perfect round to run is at the B split in that situation. And we can see why. It's like you can't stop it. There's only 2 players stuck on the side.
Timeout from HAVU. It's been so many rounds in a row for Contact. 6 rounds in a row. It's hard for these CT teams to win any rounds. And again, Contact decided to start on the CT side, and I said maybe they want to finish strong, and that's certainly the case so far. Just 2 rounds behind HAVU now, and now we're asking the same questions of HAVU as we did from Contact. Can they stop this T side from doing whatever they want?
I do think that HAVU's T side, it looks like a lot stronger. Yeah. But the thing is that their CT side is almost like the inverse correlation. Like it's actually is just a lot weaker than Contact's was for sure. Contact were like more active, and that like really helped them because you could at least get information. You could at least maybe get a frag before the push comes in. You could maybe draw some utility away from the other team. But right now, Contact are just getting too much control, and the HAVU's long takes came in way too late as well in this half. There's Zimoli, that will force ships back. Now they can take position with that 1 player deeper. And they have a 2-1-2 setup now, effectively.
Otto takes the AWP. I'm glad to see that. Obviously they both snipe, but Otto's the man. So after the spawn-based play, I'm glad Otto has that 1 AWP. That's something at the very least. So Long's been abandoned now by both teams. HAVU are looking to use an extra man, if you will. Contact will assume someone's taking care of Long, which gives HAVU an extra man since no one is there to bolster defenses elsewhere.
It is a gamble, but it looks like it will work out this time.
Yeah, I'd love to see those kind of plays. It used to be more popular, I feel like, some time ago, on Dust 2 especially. Before it had its makeover, before the Botox came in. Contact of 4 players in T-Spot. They're actually going towards Long. It's almost like they can hear me there.
Yeah, this is the problem with this gamble for sure. However, this is taking a lot of time, so that's one thing to bear in mind. But the other thing as well that's a problem for HAVU is that they have almost no utility because their economy is being so wrecked. That's a huge kill. That's such a huge kill. They've got a lot of info. They're going to hear, I think, they're running up Long with the Cat player. So they know this is coming. There's 30 seconds. Contact actually just can't slow this down. They have to just run all the way at this point. Otherwise, there's no time.
Look at Hoodie go. He's so ready for that flank, and they're not even focusing on the doors just yet. Otto will get taken out. Now we've got huge problems. That ball's rolling away before they've even secured the bomb site. So they've got their weak all over the place. Rylan racing back now to the A bomb site. Hoodie gets killed for free. Can't even plant the bomb. There's 10 seconds to do it. They've gone for the bad plant, the worst possible one to defend. Ships now alone in a 1 versus 3, and Hoodie continues to cause problems from Long. We spoke about proactiveness. I feel like on the CT side for Contact, they are more proactive when they didn't have rifles in every player, but HAVU there picked the right timing. They've been very, very active on the CT side, just wondering, especially when there's nothing going on, what Contact might be up to there. Yeah. So that was a really good read from HAVU. They were aware of their weaknesses as well, and turned things around just as Contact was starting to catch up. So that was a great play from HAVU. Proactive play.
One thing that's kind of scary in that situation is that Contact have to imagine that there's a player in CT, in Long. So like when they're in T spawn and they're rotating through to a Long take to finish round an A, they have to assume that there's someone in like pit or like in one of those off angles behind blue bin. Like someone's probably there. In most rounds, someone would be there. And so at that point, they would have had like 30 seconds left to not only get onto the A site, but they would have to deal with that player as well, who might have a smoke still, who might be able to delay them still. So that was definitely a desperation play. It kind of felt like they didn't know what to do necessarily, because I don't think you want to run that round. I think that's always the plan. Play a super slow round, pressure mid and B, and then suddenly with 30 seconds left, try to like run into A. So that might be one of those rounds where you kind of trap yourself a little bit. Yeah,
and again, the margin for error is pretty small. HAVU are 2 rounds away from winning this series now, so Contact really have to up their game. This is a really big buy from both squads. We have that second AWP out for HAVU. Zori and Slowy with the sniper rifles. 3 players lower tunnels for Contact. Otto looking for someone to creep up Cat, and Hoodie's doing exactly that, but does he go too far? Otto will see the trajectory. Well, once the smoke is up, doesn't really matter. That'll slow down a push towards Cat. Maybe invite him to use more utility over that smoke, and you can see Esperanto throwing the molly, even though no one's here to really swing on it. Forcing Hoodie forward, it will jump back. So that'll help them clear Cat to some degree, and that T incendiary is very telling as well.
So right now, this is like the default timing, take Cat at around 115 or so, but also at this same timing, some teams will do a delayed long take. So HAVU have 2 on long still because of that, because they don't know if it's going to be that delayed long take or not. So that flashbang comes through, you can see Zori now starts to shift his attention towards car as opposed to long, and well, he's moved to car looking at Catwalk as opposed to looking at long. Importantly,
Saw's got a flash on long, and Zori's got 2 flashes as well, so if a push came in towards Cat, he could flash behind Hoodie's head so he can face, but Zori's actually going aggressive. So once again, we've got that proactive play where it seems he wants to start peeking Cat, but then the question is, can Hoodie rotate fast enough? If he's the one rotating, he's got no flashes to throw over the roof into the B bomb site for his teammates. And indeed, Doto's playing anti-flash in the smoke.
Oh, don't go too far. This is really scary. Because they got the info that it was going to be a B split. This time they played this a little much better, but there's only Dota left. Oh, they know someone's in the smoke. Oh, this is a disaster for HAVU. They played it so much better ultimately than the previous time this B split was coming, but it's just gone so terribly wrong. So unfortunate. Oh man.
Great awareness from c0ntact there.
Yeah, they played it really well.
Tapping the smoke just in case. They hear the tag, they know he's there, and then it's all over. Hoodie will be lost as well. There's some money for HAVU, but it's not spectacular by any means, and they really can't afford to lose any more players in this round.
I understand why Doto pushes the tons behind that smoke, because they know that the B split is at that point going to be coming, and one of the reasons is because not only has long been locked down at that point, but also Zori rotated to the Cat peak, which is something I talked about earlier when they played it too passively to even have some vision on Cat. And so he saw at that timing there's nobody there. So it had to be a B setup of some kind. So then Doto with that info, then he drops the smoke in tons. And there's like 36 seconds left at that point. So that smoke is a huge problem. But at the same time, they're worried about the players from mid, and they don't know how many players will come from mid. So then both of the B defenders are actually splitting themselves up voluntarily as opposed to trying to play the site. And it's really hard to know what to do in that spot. But as you said, James, c0ntact did play it really well. Even though HAVU got the info, they still couldn't stop it.
Including the pistol, only 3 rounds so far for HAVU, but only 2 more rounds required. That prospect might be quite difficult though. A lot of junk being thrown into the B bomb site. Slowly up close to the AWP. Super awkward for him. There's 2 smokes in the B tunnel from c0ntact, which is interesting. And they'll force HAVU away from Cat. No challenge on long just yet, but Otto's keeping an eye on it. Plenty of time on the clock for c0ntact. Got a smoke to allow Esperanto to lurk, but the spray from Soy. Here's attacking, he's going for more, but Esperanto fell back just in time. See all the value from putting some bullets through smokes here round after round. And there's going to be a burst into the B bomb site. Perfectly timed because Doto is alone. He's going for the pop flash, but look at the spread already. It's actually working out for him. Slowly manages to trade a frag, and now he can hold the cross. With all those smokes thrown earlier, there actually is still one for the door. Can they get a boost fast enough? It looks like they're going for it. One has made his way over. They'll see the trajectory. No one's behind big box. 4 versus 3 now as they look for the retake.
Oof, this is very scary stuff. The CTs have tons. It's a 1v1 here. Zori in the 1v1 is so important against AWP. He's got a slightly better angle against Otto, and he'll win the fight. That's huge. That just destabilizes the entire defense. It's up to Emmy now against 3 players, and Zori's going to take them all down. That was such a huge 1v1 in tons there in that 3v3, but this is the first time that HAVU have won against the B-split, James. You can see that c0ntact know that that's the big weakness for HAVU, is in dealing with the B-splits. And now, what do they do? Because now it feels like HAVU have maybe solved this B-split situation. They did have to have less long presence to do it though, so maybe you hit long now again.
So much mileage from that flashback from Doto. I guess you don't know if he's going to peek before it goes off and flash himself as well to get 1 kill, so you have to face it and eat it. Or someone does. HAVU with a miracle round to make it to match point first. c0ntact now needs 3 from 3. Ooh. Ships jumps into a very awkward spot. That was quite painful indeed. Otto has an AWP as well. Esperanto holding an angle, but what can be done? Trying to face during a grenade, but that won't work either. And that might be it here.
Well, Otto's still alive, James, and as you say, you know, he's a big game player, ready to deliver, and he'll deliver a kill here to try to equalize things, although Contact are still behind a man. They do have catwalk control, and he's in a very deep positions. However, in this situation, it almost always, the setup for the CTs is 2 on B, 1 on A site, 1 on long. It's almost always this way, and so Contact should realize this, and usually hitting the A bomb site, because the players are self-isolating effectively.
Self-isolating.
It's a better bomb site to hit than B. So this is exactly what they're going to do. Go for the A hit. This makes the most sense. And they have a lot of utility. They can flash away the AWP of Zori. He is a huge problem.
He's got a flash for Saw, though. Again, he can throw a flash behind Saw's head. I don't think we've seen a palm tree flash from Goose in any of these rounds, and I think there is a molly for that Goose position, actually. Well, the flash has been thrown by Zori now. Nothing doing, just Jet may slow them down a touch. There's still no rotation by HAVU from the B bomb site. Only now are they starting to move, but Contact still on the bomb site. Zori, he's teased, he sees Ryle and tags him, but he's still alive with that bomb. 3 players now, crab walking on the A bomb site. Got to go for that short plant. They don't have control of short anymore either, but HAVU are coming in from CT spawn. Loads of flashes. Bomb is planted. Feels so awkward for Contact, and they fall one after the other. 2 for Zori, 1 for Doto, and a match for HAVU.
Yeah, great quad quill from Zori, and honestly, this is a pretty fun bout between these two teams. You could see the cogs turning, HAVU having to deal with long, just as their opponents did in the first half. Eventually, they kind of started to solve long, and it was no longer a reliable solution for Contact. Then Contact figure out that, hang on, these B splits are super strong because they're playing too passive. Let's keep exploiting that. Then eventually, at the last moment, there is a response for that, and then it's like they try to battle to long, and at that point it was solved. Zori was ready for the ting.
That was a very enjoyable best of 3. We are going to go to a break. When we're back, it's going to be the blind spot with the lads and the lady. Stay tuned.